We want to welcome everybody in and thank you for this conversation that we're about to have. We think it's important the community of Amarillo can get a chance to hear your views and present them instead of maybe in the format of a 20, 30-second soundbite on television that you guys might have expressed in a 2 or 3 minute answer. And we think this is a great opportunity. Alex and I also want you to know this, and this is from the heart. We applaud your courage. And courage is the right word to put your name out there to try to win a public office and use your valuable time serving the city of Amarillo. So we're glad to have you aboard. Let's introduce our candidates. This is for Mayor of Amarillo. We have Jeff McGunegle. McGunegle.
Right,
okay.
Either one.
There we go. We're going to call Jeff today. We have Don Collins. Welcome in, Don.
Thank you.
And then we have Cole Stanley. Cole,
Good
thanks
morning,
for joining
gentlemen.
us today.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank
We're going to go with a lead question here, and this is for everybody. We have a near record number of candidates, as you guys know, running for office in 2023. There's 6. 3 of them chose not to be here today, which is their prerogative. Why do you think so many candidates have gotten involved in this city election this year? And Dawn, if you don't mind, let's start with you on that one.
I think the concerns of the past, and they're looking for something new, a new voice.
Yeah, I like it. Jeff?
I believe we're at a pinnacle in time. I think Amarillo's kind of at a point of a Rubicon, thrive or dive. It's kind of like where the country is. And it's in the works, it's in the people. And the past is kind of like, hey, we need some change. Like Don's saying, we need some change. And so it's kind of like a lot of people are throwing their hat in. And I think establishment has a lot to do with this. A lot of these people that we're running are not establishment. So it's kind of like the people are starting to rise.
Good. Cole?
Yeah. I agree. I think it's sidelines. I know that's where I came from 2 years ago. I was just a guy kind of standing on the sideline, plenty of complaints and all sorts of little things that you just see and you're like, man, I can do better, or I could affect that, or we don't do it like that. And so over the last 2 years, I've been a part of feeling that kind of us versus them. And so it is kind of government, that's grown, and it is that perception that the government needs to step in and do all these things, and we grow government, we grow services, and we just continue. And so I think you see people like us stepping out there because it's more us. It's we the people.
Yeah, we find it refreshing too.
Love it.
Just going to say that. So, Cole, let's kick this one off with you. There are many who feel the past council was over-influenced by a local political action committee.
Uh-huh.
Most people are aware also that you have a good relationship with my friend Alex here. Can you assure us that he won't have an inappropriate influence on you if you become mayor?
So y'all just go right at it.
We
right
do
off
go
the
right
bat.
at it.
I like that. So, well, man, thank you for asking that question. I think it's a good question to ask. So the one thing that I can say that no one else you're going to interview can say is I've been tried and tested for the last 2 years. And if I could be influenced, I would have already. And so I've had a conversation with Alex, and he gave me some money to my previous campaign. And the same rule applies. I told him then, like, hey, I'll do anything I can for you, but it won't be any more or less than what I can do for any other citizen. And then I promise you, downtown, the political pressures are way more than the influence that would come from a donor. And so you can see my voting record down there, and I've stood for what I believe in.
Dawn, this is for you. What are your thoughts on the state of senior citizens in Amarillo, if you don't mind on that one? And are we on track here in Amarillo?
I don't believe we're on track. I think seniors have been forgotten. Even in that new vision that I went to that meeting yesterday, 2045, there was nothing mentioned. And we brought that up in the meeting. Was the second thought. It should have been the first thought. It's not an even. The seniors are down here and the rest of the city, which I don't have a problem with the young, but we need to get it even.
Okay.
As a comment, we told all the candidates if they had a question they wanted asked, they could tell us it. And no one did that except Don said he'd like to talk about senior citizens.
That's
so
cool.
I miss
yeah, I like that.
issue
Yeah.
close to your heart.
All right, Jeff, I think your Facebook page says you're a life consciousness coach. So tell us what a life consciousness coach is.
Well, I became this with all the grief and actually grand experiences I've had in working with kids with autism and so forth. But life consciousness coach has got a great amount of wisdom, and bringing that wisdom to the life consciousness coach more than anything was with people with disabilities. So I take a guy who has ADD or autism, and actually, since I know where they're coming from, actually I bring out the best in them. So it's the life wellness part of it is one thing. The consciousness thing is something that I bring to the city that no one else has. I'm here to raise consciousness. In this 21st century, we're talking consciousness now. And consciousness, actually raising the city's consciousness, it's a leap, a quantum leap by going with consciousness. That helps you out.
Very good, very well said.
Very good. I'll say, Don, I think I enjoyed watching your Facebook page.
Thank you.
It's everyone should go watch it. I'm not making a plug for Jeff, but it's everyone should go watch it. Okay, so can I go next?
Yes.
So Cole, this is for you. A push poll was released last week, and for the viewers, a push poll is a poll. It looks like a poll. It could be a phone poll. This one was online, and they blasted out to people's cell phones a text, and it looks like it's a poll with a bunch of questions, but it's really a marketing piece, and the questions try to move you towards some conclusions that they try to make and like to make. And so it's a little tricky because you don't know who did it, because it's not considered a political ad. They don't have to say who did it, so we don't know who did it, but it becomes pretty obvious when you see them. So sorry for the long explanation, but a push poll was released last week that supported Frida and strongly attacked you and me. It indicates, I think, some likelihood that Frida and or her, as of now, unknown supporters, might run a tough campaign. Like we've barely entered the season, and the first shot across the bow was a tough one. My question is, if she does, how will you respond?
So let's hope not. In the way of I esteem Frida. I think she's a good person. I enjoy her. She has a fun personality. You go around town, you talk to a lot of people, and they'll tell you hey, I like Frida.
Yeah, I agree.
I am different than her, especially in the form of leadership, like our two leadership styles, my personality, hers. But in the way of running a positive campaign, regardless of what they do, one, I'm going to fight really hard and I'm going to work, and I expect that out of them. But I will be nothing but positive. And so it was humorous because the way in which they formatted that survey, it starts off pretty innocent, this is Amarillo, what do you think, up or down? But then it goes directly to, if you'd read an article that said Cole Stanley robbed a bank, would that make you be more likely to vote for him, less likely? And it didn't say that, but it may as well have. And so I thank them for at least being that obvious for all of us that are paying attention.
Yeah, very good, very good. I got it, but I didn't open it in time because I don't keep so close, and so finally a few days later I opened it and it said, oh, it's expired. So I didn't. Yeah. I only got to see a few people telling me about what it said about me.
You missed a little chuckle here and there. I promise.
So anyway, any comments from anyone else on just clean, above board, below board?
See, I'm looking at new politics. Okay, the six of us, I'm for getting together and raising the bar of our excellence.
That's good.
Frida's excellence. Each one of us. This is about Amarillo, right? It's not about tearing each other down. It's not about winning, man. It's about raising the bar. So May 6th comes around and we're like, hey, the best man wins, but we've got then it's the five other behind us for the city.
That's good, Jeff.
Yeah.
Just working together. Cole and I had a conversation at the policeman's ball. Don't put people down. He said if he won, I would work for him. And he said if I won, he would work for me. And I'm sure that's the way with Jeff. We need to work together. Amarillo it's a great city, but right now it's not so great.
Very good. Okay, well that leads. I'm going to skip and go to Jeff because it leads pretty good to my next question, Jeff. I told you before I enjoyed your Facebook page and
Just getting started.
I like the one about the how Amarillo is how it's pronounced. I agree. I grew up in New Mexico where we knew that like double L's are silent in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
So we always in New Mexico we call Taco Villa. We said Taco Villa because that's the right way. So I've always noticed that Amarillo is really Amarillo. But anyway, I thought that's not my question. On that same post or on one of your posts though, you asked I want to ask you a question that you kind of posed to Amarillo. And ask you to answer it, and that is Amarillo a mediocre city?
Absolutely. I haven't had one. Actually, I can go to each person in this room and ask them that, and they will say, yeah. In fact, you called Amarillo a clunky city in your interview. What is clunky?
I don't remember that.
It was the one about the stuff going on downtown.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. The local hero is saying that's clunky. What's a clunker? What's a clunker car? Is it excellent? Heck no. You don't even know if you're going to get to the store or not.
Yeah.
And I've talked about it many, many times. There's an unspoken standard of mediocrity. There's no talk of excellence. The 2045, there was no talk of excellence that day. Not at all. So there's a standard of mediocrity, and people are asleep to it.
So let me follow up then with that. Because in the same video, you talked about excellence.
Mm-hmm.
How will you lead us to become excellent as mayor?
I got a 4-step process with it, okay? And it's a 4-step process of growing up and coming into the world. And it's already started. I call it Project Yellow. This conversation, that question you just asked, wakes up the excellence. What is it? We're having conversations. We all know what it is. Every one of us knows what it is. I've seen kids, it's an innate part of us. We're excellent beings. We're excellent beings, but we got to claim that. And we can. It's easy. Why is it easy to be excellent? Because we are.
It's good. It's good. It's optimistic. I like it. Don, it's a super easy question, and this is a completely authentic question. I just don't know the answer. Do you normally vote Republican or Democrat?
Republican.
Mostly Republican.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, in the past, it's been a few years ago, I did change parties.
Ah, okay.
But
Well, and I kind of wanted to be careful with that question because it like really doesn't matter, and these aren't Republican Democrat
Right.
things. But
Yeah.
so actually, someone else asked me, "Is he a Republican or Democrat?" And I said, "I don't know. I'll ask him."
But you know what?
So-
We need to learn to get along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it seems like neither party wants to get along with each other. And that's the problem with the United States right now. So if a Republican gets elected, why don't the Democrats work? Or the Democrats, it seems like, so why don't we come together, like you said?
Yeah. So talk a little about if you once voted more Democrat. Like, tell us a little bit about the transition. Like, what happened that you kind of evolved to another place?
Years ago, it seemed like the Republicans, let's start back when I was growing up. My folks voted Democrats because my dad was a farmer. It seemed like the Democrats were more for the people and the Republicans was kind of switched now to where the Democrats, in my opinion, is not for us people, where the Republicans take up for us
I
more.
gotcha.
And
So really, you maybe didn't change. The parties evolved to a place that you said, I got to get the other one.
yes,
Yeah, interesting. Good.
Don, on that note, this is no slap at you at all, Cole, because you were involved with it, but the trust factor on the commission, and there's no official poll on this, this is just me being in the public, listening to people. The simple word trust was no longer associated with the council.
no.
Do you tend to agree with that?
I
and how
agree.
can that change? Like you were talking about this aspect of getting along.
Is it mostly Cole's fault?
Swayed the whole council.
Listen to the people. Listen to the voters. They'll tell you what they want. If you don't listen to the people, it's just bad.
Yeah. Jeff, anything on that?
There's
Yeah.
there's a national crisis in trust.
Yeah.
It's a national crisis. And right here, I'm coming into this thing. As mayor, all of a sudden, this was December, this came up. So I started looking at the city and looking on apps next door and so forth. And there was trust. And we don't trust our neighbors. We don't trust ourselves. It's kind of like that. And so I've called out the city council and the mayor. I said, you guys have a black cloud over your head. And you need a legacy. You need a legacy for us, for the leadership coming in, to get as many voters from your bully pulpit, to get as many voters signed up for us. To say, yeah, they're doing this for us, not I'm done, time to retire out of it. Because that builds the fire for trust.
Good. Okay, so we got to let Cole.
Yeah, if I could
Yeah.
volunteer on that one. So, I say this in the right way, like never trust the government, and I truly mean that in the way of the entity of government. It's an entity. So it's like never trust a business. Now you can trust that business owner, you may trust the people that work for that business. You put your trust in people because of what you see. But you don't just blindly trust a business, and you shouldn't blindly trust a government. And that's what we feel pushed kind of towards us as us, the people. It's constantly demanding us to trust blindly because we're not able to see what's going on, and we don't know those people. And so, I think you can trust me when you don't have to. And so, I trust what I see, not what I hear. I want to be able to see your actions. I want to be able to see the movement, where the money's going, how it's being spent, what are you doing for us? And so I think that trust can be rebuilt, but it's got to be earned in the way of don't demand it. Let it come naturally by walking it out. You take off first. You said you wanted to be the leader. That's what we're offering to do.
So I was going to ask a follow-up, and you kind of answered it, which was, if we don't have it, how do we get it? How do we get it back? It would be amazing if Amarillo trusted its leadership. And there'll always be a group of people that are I'm never trusting them, doesn't matter what they do. If you guys become mayor, if any of you become mayor, how I know it's just not have a meeting, get trust back, but how do we go about getting it back?
But I don't need you to trust me if I'm the mayor. I need you to trust that police officer. I need you to trust that fireman. I need you to trust those city services that you can depend on those, that water's going to come out clean, so on and so forth. I need you to trust performance, not me. So I'm not going to come to you and say, hey, just trust me. Just give me 12 months. Y'all leave me alone. Let me go fix it all. And then you can evaluate me later. That's not how this is supposed to work.
Good. Don, Jeff?
Go ahead.
My four-part process is wake up, first of all. Why don't we trust each other? Where's that gone? Okay? Start that conversation. The second part is to clean up. Cleaning up. We got to clean up. There's a lot of secrets in this town. Lots of secrets, the whole thing. A rich businessman had to step up for us. If the rich businessman doesn't step up, what happens? Where's the trust in that? So it's wake up, clean it up. And we've all got baggage. And I'm the inside out mayor. I'm looking for the people to start to clean up. So I can trust them to do their excellent part in the community. This is about the people. This is about the people.
What you show and what you do and your perception will earn the people's trust. You got to earn that trust. And and you do that as a whole. So the whole group, whether the city council, the way they look at you and the way that you present it to them You earn that. If you don't earn it, it won't be there.
That's very fair.
Good. Lance?
As mayor, you guys will be, the face of leadership of Amarillo. That's just the part of the job. And that'll be for 2 years. Can you briefly explain your leadership philosophy? You guys touched on it just a little bit there, but if you don't mind. And let's go ahead and start with you, Jeff.
As the life coach, very successful with inspiring people. As a teacher, I was at Lawndale Elementary, and I'm walking down the hallway, and there's this third grader. His hair's like perfect, and his shirt. And they're wearing jeans in school all the time now. It's just ridiculous. And I see this guy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm wearing that tomorrow. I'm inspired. So this kid's inspiring me. So I inspire the whole school. Next thing, we got a best dressed man day, ZZ Top. I was going to have Dusty Hill coming in for that. So it's like, it's inspiring people. That's what we're doing. It's a two-way street. We look at one way. I got something for you, but you got something for me. I'm going to inspire you, you inspire me. You inspire me, I inspire you. And it's virus. It's viral. So that's my thing. It's like 200,000 people need to know who I am. Right now, I'd say about 60% of the people I talk to know who the mayor is.
Yeah.
Don, it's hard to do it in a minute, but leadership philosophy. You did it in a minute. Good job. That wasn't a reference to you.
Well, I've been in management my entire life. I've managed in grocery business, at CVS, been a leader of people, youth, adults, and you've got to set an example. If you work hard, I always said, I'll work harder than you, but if you work hard, they'll work hard for you. So yeah, I seen that.
You're going. You're good. Don't worry about
go
that
ahead.
time, man.
I seen that sign.
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
the corner of my eye.
You're obeying the rules, but just go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, you learn to get their trust, so they'll take care of you, you take care of them. So as mayor, I will take care of you all, and you take care of me, and everything will work out.
Yeah. Cole?
So I think I can do it in a minute. So
You can go over.
I let me tell you what I'm looking for in a leader, and then this would be what I aspire to, and if I get there, then you can hold me accountable to this. But I'm looking for two main qualities in a leader, and it's a good balance of confidence and humility. And so I'm looking for confidence. You've got to know, like, I know that if I get that job down there, I can do it. I know that I have everything it takes to do that job and do it very well. And I have 2 years of experience to know what I'm getting myself into this time. I truly didn't know before I got elected the first time. Confidence is essential, but then the humility thing, I don't mean humility like, well, I just think less of myself, or I'm going to downplay whatever my strengths are. I mean humility in the right form of humbleness, of like, I esteem you as better than myself. It means I put your needs before my own. And so I'm looking for that in a leader, because I'm looking for a servant. I want somebody that gets elected to be the head janitor. They're here to clean, sweep, and serve. And so that's what I'm going after down there. And I think humility and confidence together are what I'm looking for in a strong leader.
Good.
I like it.
All right. You're next again, I think.
Yeah, we'll go with this one. In April, mayoral candidate Frida, you know what I mean, she voted with the majority to approve the $260 million debt, which voters had previously rejected. Had you been in office, would you have voted with Frida and Mayor Nelson on this issue? Dawn?
No.
Just flat out no.
Just flat out no.
Why?
Some of the things that debt went, I don't agree with. I think that if they were going to go in that debt, there was other things that could have been added to, and some things that could have been left off.
Cole, you lived it.
Definitely lived through it.
We have your
So
answer
still
already.
answering for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I voted no.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I voted no, but I just asked for a simple thing: just 2 weeks. Just give me 2 weeks to really. I'd only had 3 days to study this, and it was easy to get to the no for the one simple reason is it refused to follow the process. It's proven to be illegal. You know, the judge ruled 9 times that it was not legal, and so there's a process for everything. And so it was an easy vote for me, even though it was the right thing to do. It was still hard in the way of like, I see that need down there, and I'm not avoiding the need or dismissing that, but we have to play by the rules in which we've all signed up for.
Jeff.
You know, I really wasn't involved with that, but you know, from what I'm finding out, and I've heard this about multiple things in Amarillo over time, is when the people say no, but then folks go ahead and do it. Which to me, it's kind of like, I mean, just principle-wise, integrity-wise. This is, with trust comes integrity too. So tearing into that integrity, in city halls, that's representation for the city, and I don't think we know that people. I've got folks in Germany, I got folks in Sweden, I got folks in South America watching us. We're wide open. It's like we're in the 20th century and don't realize that Amarillo, anywhere, can be seen by anyone. And if we really want to become an excellent city, and this is a question whether we want to or not, we've got to present to the world as excellent.
Yeah, good. Anything else on that?
You guys, okay? Yeah. Go
All
ahead,
right.
Alex.
So this is you know, try not to ask these predictable general questions. So this will be a little general, but we'll give it some color. Even though, you know, Frida, you know, she didn't come today. She's worked in, you know, lockstep with the mayor, you know, for the last almost 6 years. Financially, she'll, you know, probably have an advantage over all of you. And as the mayor pro tem for the last 2 years, you know, she's nearly an incumbent. My question is, why are you a better choice for mayor? I think she's probably the favorite. So I wish she had been here to tell us
Alex
why.
already handicapping things on
Right.
you guys.
Right.
Why will you be better? Don, let's start with you.
Ooh.
And you can go anywhere you want with that.
I'm for the people, for the voters. I have no agenda. I am a voice for the senior citizens. And seniors have been left out. But I'm also a voice, like I said, for the voters. I want a beautiful Amarillo. I want, when you drive into Amarillo, I used to say, when I was with working with CVS, I could walk in a store and if it was dirty, it didn't shine. You know, I want people to drive into Amarillo and see the shine.
Very good. Jeff?
Ask me the question again, please.
I just made the point that that Frida looks like, you know, she looks like.
I remember now.
The favorite.
Why are you a better choice?
I went to this 2045 meeting the other day. Okay.
Could I ask what is this meeting? What
This
is
is
that meeting on?
it's a government mandated plan for up to 2045 for Amarillo.
So you mean government mandated? Someone else said we have to
Is
have
it
this
Texas that mandated it, or is it a federal?
So no, I wouldn't say it's mandated.
Or okay.
I would just say it's the vision for the city for the next 20 plus years.
Okay.
And they're trying to draw a very, very broad general roadmap of what we want our city to become.
Okay.
And it starts out well intentioned in the way of like, hey, let's listen and let's figure all this out. But then, like any good thing, I mean, the devil's in the details. And so like, you got to start paying attention to what those plans really look like. So if we say we want this to become this over here, how do we get there? So the problem with some of those things is we kind of put a real pretty picture up on the wall and we show you like how great and big this castle may be. But then if we don't go and look at the building plans and see what goes into all of this construction, how we construct that photo, or that elevation, then we really just have a pretty picture on the wall. And so they're trying to get the roadmap drawn. And I mean, it's proceed with caution.
Not to get off track, but the whole draw the pretty picture, and there's not many details like that. That's a little bit of a pattern of the last 6 years. But listen,
That's where I was going. That was where I was going at.
One little, so
Don's interrupting you,
this
Jeff.
has to go with his,
Go ahead, Don.
this has to go with his question. Was that a city?
Initiative.
Yes.
So it would be a previous council initiative. It's not anything we've voted on in the last 2 years, but it is kind of a running theme of this is how we run government. So this is things that like guys like us will change. So the running theme is, hey, let's go hire a consultant. Let's bring somebody from out of town, and y'all come here and you tell us what we should look like. That's backwards. You know, hey, let's get together and let's figure out who are we first. What's our identity? And then based on who we are, let's figure out what we look like and where we want to go. And then let's just address these basic services. Government needs to be focused on basic services, not painting pictures on the wall.
So the
Anyways,
number
sorry,
2045, I guess, Jeff, was like what we'll look like in 2045.
Yeah, and it's to me it's totally ridiculous because we don't know what we're going to look like in 2025. But anyway,
Go ahead, yeah, Jeff. Let's get back to Jeff's question.
so I'm in the front row and the guy's presenting this stuff, and I said, well, how do we had a plan in 2010, I think it was. Okay, and I looked at this plan. And it's good stuff. I mean, it took away it beautified the city quite a bit. And I asked him, how did we do on that last plan? And he crafted some nice, well, in this we did very well. I mean, we can do better in other stuff. And my thoughts were like, well, if we haven't done what we need to do from 2010 to now, why do we think we can do from 2023 to 2045 or into 2025? So that is an indictment on the government, the leadership. So if it's an indictment of those on the leadership that haven't taken us from 2010 to 2023, they've got to go. They got to be swept. In fact, I swept.
Are you saying we need a sweep, Cole?
Well, that was
You may
Cole's
have a
words.
clean
Sweep.
sweep. I don't know.
And we need to clean up and we need to sweep. In fact, you know what? Go to City Hall and look at the steps in front of it.
Uh-huh.
I've swept it twice myself.
What was that purpose?
Because City Hall represents us. It's our palace. Back in the day, that's the king's palace, and you're walking up to it. And I got people because there's cones out there, broken tiles. I got people coming up. Is this the entrance? And then I got the elders. I'm glad I didn't fall. And I told this one lady, I said, yeah, for one thing, you fall, you may be in a wheelchair the rest of your life.
Yeah.
The other thing is the government's going to, or the city's going to pay. So.
All right, fair enough.
Okay.
Shall we try to wrap it up?
Yeah.
All right.
Let me ask Lance real quick. I
Yes,
didn't get to
go
answer
ahead.
your question. So I know I talked a little too much.
Oh, we
but
didn't.
specifically,
We didn't. Okay.
your
Sorry.
question was, and I think
Sorry.
you've insinuated
Oh yeah,
that
we
I'm
didn't let Cole answer.
I'm
We got
behind
the
in
subject.
my race, and so like maybe I am.
I was going to try
you
to
know.
skip you, Cole, so no
I
one
know.
thinks I'm
I know.
favoring you.
No, they can tell by now. You've asked some good questions. So you asked me a question about Frida. Let me ask you a question, or answer that question with another question. Like, who is Frida? You know, I mean, for the last 2 years now, I know who she is as a person.
Yeah,
But
you
I'm
like
saying,
her.
as I like her as a person,
Yeah.
she's a fun person, and we get along. But as a leader, and in a competition, which this is, I have to ask like the question of like, what is her leadership style, and what are her policies? So I'm going to tell you, over the last 2 years, I haven't seen her. I've seen Ginger, and I've seen Mayor Nelson move, and I've seen Frida back her up every step of the way. So not one time have I seen Frida come and bring her idea or her plan, her objective. And so like she may very well be favored as an incumbent, so to speak, as a mayor pro tem. But like, do we know who she is as a leader? I'm still trying to figure that one out.
That's Alex's odds, by the way, the freedom incumbent thing, isn't it?
My odds.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
that's
you're-
my. Yeah, that's my.
That's your.
That's mine. It's not very scientific.
No, that's okay.
Can I
That's
throw in
okay.
2 cents on that?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
I know it's their prerogative, but why aren't there, that there are not 6 people here? This blows my mind.
Yeah.
Half of the leadership, the people going for the leadership, 3 showed up. To me, we're in it and they're out.
Yeah, and let's just be.
I mean, that's just.
This isn't a bash-free
No, it
discussion.
isn't.
You know what I mean?
No.
But they all were given the opportunity, just
Yeah.
so everybody knows.
Yeah,
Same as you guys. Same emails.
I
Alex.
think Jeff makes a valid point. Like, we weren't going to touch on this, but in every other place, every candidate is coming.
Yeah.
This is the only race that some didn't come, and we pursued these people. We didn't just send an email and didn't hear. Like we chased them, and encouraged them to come. And,
Yeah, but we don't want to pat ourselves on the back. Rob.
No.
This is not.
I'm just
about
saying
us
they
at
had
all.
every opportunity.
No, they did. That's fair. That's very fair.
This is a big interview.
Yeah, we appreciate
this
you
is
guys
big.
being
This is
here
big.
so much. Only if you knew, but we want to give each of you guys.
Could I ask one last question?
Oh yeah,
before?
go ahead.
I would like to see what's on the front of your boots, Jeff. Those are some fancy boots. TCU, all
got the
right.
horn
Very
frog.
good. I hope that's okay that I asked you that.
I was at the
Yeah, no.
Casey store in El Paso, and I saw these boots,
And
and they were actually
your
they were-
name on it.
Well, I'm not a TCU fan, and I'm like, oh, those
Is
are
that
boots.
right?
I like them.
Hey,
I
and
like
if,
'em.
if Cole's a TCU fan, I can say, Cole, what do you think of the boots?
Yeah, almost any school out of Texas.
What's on the front of your boots?
I mean, yeah,
Cole?
we can really get there. You know?
Those are on fire,
You
man.
want to see mine?
These are my McGunegle boots.
See, we wanted this interview
we can
for
make
people
those.
to know people
I
better.
have to say though, Jeff, I've never known anybody to buy like a school color and not even care about the school. I don't know if I.
I'll wear my OU boots next time. Okay.
Fair enough.
I got those.
I like it.
If I'm in Oklahoma City and I'm in trouble, man, I can say I'm wearing.
They do look good. They do look
Thank
pretty
you,
clean.
They're
man.
sharp.
gotta
I had
admit,
no
yeah.
idea. I just saw something. I didn't know what it was. Okay, sorry. I got off the subject a little bit.
Maybe
All right,
that's
go.
why TCU did so well in football this year. You know what I mean? These boots.
Every boot counts. Right.
They did well until the end.
Yeah. Well,
The end was tough.
I mean, anybody's. Yeah, I agree.
That's my deal. Is I don't watch football any longer. I don't even know what they
On to
did.
basketball.
Oh, they made it all
They're
the
on the
way.
basketball.
They were
Yeah,
very
they were that
good.
good. Okay, they were that good this year.
Fantastic.
So,
Well,
yeah, they were the story
You
of the year.
picked the right, yeah.
They were the feel-good story of
I'm-
college football.
You know, I'm a winner.
So, in my opinion. Okay. Hey, we want you guys to have a chance to express your final views on this wonderful conversation we've had today. So, if you don't mind, take a couple of minutes and tell us maybe what we haven't asked you or what you want the people to hear. And
And Lance, I'd say we're good on time. So if you want 3, like I would say
Okay.
2 to 3 minutes.
yeah,
Great.
Jeff, you seem ready to go.
Well,
Let's
I
go
woke
right
I
here.
woke up this morning and I'm like with a poem in my head, and I wrote it down. And it'll take me about 3 minutes, probably 3 to 4 minutes to do it. It's called, and I'm going to read it. That's Amarillo, that's Amarillo. You make the choice. He's sent from the east, summons with a call. To West Texas, he's told that's where he'll move all. A 3-year investigation. What's this place Amarillo all about? Many a times I went out of here. I want out of here, he would shout. Learning quickly when called, you must finish the tale. To break a commitment to God, awaiting him the belly of the whale. So up sprang Project Yellow, a project of courage and fortitude, a challenge so grand like the Beatles' hit, Hey Jude. He waited and came an opportunity so rare, his assignment a grand quest to be Amarillo's next mayor. So off he goes on this great quest, January 23, since before the council and mayor mediocrity or excellence. Not knowing if he's heard, off he does go, gets in the race, not too fast, not too slow. So here comes the title, a title that demands to hear everyone's voice. That's Amarillo, that's Amarillo, you make the choice. A mediocre city at best, clunky yet proud. Get near I-40, noise pollution, it's loud. A shrug of the shoulders, palms to the sky, it's heard. That's Amarillo, spoken as just these 2 words. Killer dogs roam the streets with masses of dogs and cat strays. That's Amarillo, the masses, they say. Homeless, drug addiction, mental health, the disabled. Abuse, rape, gun violence fills the air. That's Amarillo, they say, and just stare. Racing and speeding, dead as a family of 5. That's Amarillo. These people can't drive. Google the city, it's known for a piece of meat. That's Amarillo, not known for nutritious food to eat. AISD, again, mediocre at best. That's Amarillo as they beat their chest. We're known for nuclear bombs, Cadillac Ranch, and a movie, Bomb City. That's Amarillo, a city full of controversy. City Hall has its secrets, questionable activities for not just today, but for many years, it is told. That's Amarillo. Has our soul been sold? I don't know what it is about that city, but I don't like it. The traveler does say, that's Amarillo. Look, there goes a pack of killer dogs and a gaggle of strays. So with all this said in this mediocre city, let's now look at Amarillo, get down to the nitty-gritty. They set a standard of excellence and the city became aglow. That's Amarillo, the world they would show. First, they would wake up to the ugliness and excellence with and without. That's Amarillo, the school children and elders would shout. Next, they would clean up again without a century of stress, trauma, and grief. That's Amarillo, the great courage to act, walking, talking, and prosecuting the thief. On the growing up, it was stunted for trauma in the past, young and old. That's Amarillo, retrieving our souls, many sold. And alas, the great state of Texas, and even greater the USA, could rise its new glory much greater than the past. That's Amarillo, Texas, USA, that showed the world we did it. We blazoned the path of a beacon in the desert that leads the state, country, and all. That's Amarillo, and all it takes was one man answering the call. He calls to all 200,000. I must hear each and every voice. Is it Amarillo or Amarillo? You make the choice.
Very good.
All right.
Is that 3 minutes?
Hey,
It
pretty
doesn't matter
close.
how
Good.
long that was. That was from your heart and very much appreciated. Don, would you like to go next?
would you like to go?
No, you go ahead, man.
Well, I'm a new voice for the voters. I am the new voice and the voice for the senior citizens. I have no career demands. I have no financial demands. I have no more political ambitions. I have no distractions. But I want Amarillo to move forward with me as your mayor.
Well said.
It's good. Thank you guys for having us. Really appreciate the opportunity. It is rare to get good questions like this that are pretty direct.
Appreciate that.
And I love the fact that it came from the source, which is, the source that I'm being somewhat criticized by, and so I love that. And it comes across very genuine because it is. And so thank you for having us. And then I'll make the choice. It's Amarillo. It's not Amarillo. I've lived here 44 years. I'm born and raised here. I'm a local guy, and I'm not leaving. It's always been Amarillo because it's different. It doesn't sound the way you think. It doesn't look the way you think. And honestly, we do have those problems, and we need to address them. But we also have the best people on the face of God's green earth that live here. And I'll trade the wind at 40 miles an hour for less windy people every day. And you know if you live here that you get to live around some of the best people you could ever build your life on. And, we say it takes about 3 years. If I can get you here for 3 years, you're never leaving, And so you can disagree with that. I'm sure plenty of my friends that moved off, that never came back, those of us that stayed, we're never leaving. And so it's our town, it's our city, it's our state, it's our nation, and we have a choice, and you're exactly right. So I'm running because it's an important time. We are at a critical time in our city's history here, and this is the most impactful that I can be. Everything that I have, I can use to impact my city for the good and the direction of going the right direction. And it's truly simple. It's back to basics. It's not that hard to prioritize public safety, streets and infrastructure, cleaning up, taking care of your homeless population. We have the money to do it, and we are distracted. We are distracted by the pretty pictures, and we are focusing on things that are not core needs. And so all we have to do is refocus and prioritize the people. We have everything we need here, and I'm willing and ready to go do the work, but it's a lot of work. So I've counted the cost, and that's what I bring. I bring you everything I have.
Well said.
Those are very well,
Yeah, man.
very well said. And we cannot thank Cole, Don, and Jeff enough for showing up and presenting your views. And we were enlightened today. Really appreciate this conversation. So hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And, go out and vote. That's most important.
Yeah.
Whoever you support, just go out and vote.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Yeah.